Hey guys, today on Khan Academy we'll be discussing the components of the immune system and how they work together to protect us from the outside world. In our everyday lives, we come into contact with all sorts of germs, bacteria, viruses, you name it. It's amazing how our bodies has come up with its own set of weaponry to fight against the pathogens that want to cause us harm. There are two branches of the immune system, each dictating a different response. One is the innate response, which is non-specific and responds the same way to all pathogens. The other is adaptive response, which is much more intricate and specific in the way that it deals with disease. We'll move on to the adaptive immune system. It remembers specific pathogens and can combat disease throughout the entire body by moving through the bloodstream. There are two parts to the adaptive immune response: the humoral and the cell-mediated response. B cells are a part of the humoral response, which create antibodies that bind to invading microbes. Each B cell has its own unique set of over 10,000 antibodies lining its cell membrane. They're analogous to keys that open one and only one lock, which would be the antigen on the foreign invader. When the B cell finds its matching pair, they mass replicate into memory and plasma cells. Plasma cells do not have the ability to attack infected cells. Instead, they act as factories to produce a specific antibody and are absolutely critical in the process of marking up infected cells. The antibodies act as tags so phagocytes can engulf and digest the proper cells, and helps to differentiate from healthy body tissue. On the other hand, memory cells serve to remember the matching antibody so that the body can respond quicker and more efficient if it's affected by the same disease again. In this way, the body builds a collective database of antibodies from birth that enables you to fight back against some of the toughest diseases. This is also why it's unlikely for you to get mumps again if you had it as a child, and explains the mechanism behind vaccines. The vaccine introduces a weakened form of the disease to purposely trigger the humoral response and to build up antibodies, therefore resulting in immunity to that disease. The other branch of the adaptive immune system is responsible for the cell-mediated response. This involves T cells, which differ from B cells in that they mature in the thymus rather than the bones, and have the ability to attack invasive organisms. Unlike B cells, there are three types of T cells: helper T cells, cytotoxic T cells, and suppressor T cells. The helper T cells help by activating the response of cytotoxic T cells through the release of a stream of chemicals called cytokines. They bind a specific antigen sticking out on the surface of the foreign substance and trigger cytotoxic T cells to respond. In turn, cytotoxic T cells release a pocket of enzymes that poke holes in the cell membrane of the invading creature and causes the invader to die. Finally, suppressor T cells help control the immune response by releasing inhibiting cytokines that stop the attack. This is useful in instances where the body is overreacting to a foreign substance or when it fails to recognize that it is attacking its own healthy cells. These three types of T cells keep a healthy balance of attacking and withdrawing that enables us to combat against the gnarliest invaders. Pretty amazing, huh? It sounds complex, but the complexity is what allows the immune system to function so well in protecting us from the microbes that we encounter on a daily basis.